Welcome back to the Budget Gamer channel, where we bring you critical and in-depth reviews of just about every indie game we can get our hands on, and today we're going to be taking a look at Glass Masquerade 1 and 2 for the Nintendo Switch. And if you are watching this review within a few days of the review being published on YouTube, Glass Masquerade 1 and 2 are currently on sale for about $3, so if after watching the review you think you might be interested, it's a good time to go get them. Jumping straight into the story, at least for Glass Masquerade 1, there is really nothing to talk about. Glass Masquerade is a pure puzzle game. And I don't mean you wander around and try and find little situations to push the story forward, I mean you solve puzzles. Though that's not to say there isn't an overarching theme. Basically, in Glass Masquerade 1, you're circumnavigating the globe in 50 different stops representing 50 different cultures and countries. And at each one of these locations, you'll be putting together a stained glass timepiece that is somewhat emblematic of the area itself. For America, there's the Chrysler Building and the Statue of Liberty. For Mexico, there's a stained glass work of art dedicated to the Aztecs, and so on and so forth. But one of the most challenging features of Glass Masquerade 1 is the fact that you don't get to see an image of the puzzle before you're trying to put it together. And the only hint that you may have is the area which the puzzle's supposed to represent. And this, as you might expect, does cause what could be a simple stained glass puzzle to be pretty difficult at times. The puzzles themselves do span a range of difficulty levels, noted by between 1 and 5 little dots. 1 of course being the easiest, and 5 being the hardest. And as you are building stained glass timepieces, there is a time element, though it's definitely not a race against the clock, and there really are no points to keep track of. Though you will be able to see your best time, and should you try to solve the puzzle again, maybe try and beat your own score. From my own personal playthrough through Glass Masquerade 1, I found most of the moderate difficulty puzzles to take between 3 and 5 minutes, with the moderate difficulties taking about 8, and sometimes for the harder puzzles taking about 16 minutes each. And so as you can imagine, with 50 different puzzles to solve, Glass Masquerade actually offers a whole lot of gameplay if you are a puzzling fan. Moving on to Glass Masquerade 2, this one actually diverts from a pure puzzler and does institute a bit of a story. The exact same puzzling dynamics carry out, where you're given a bit of a frame, a large selection of puzzle pieces to choose from, and your overarching goal is to put together an image that you have yet to see. However, unlike Glass Masquerade 1, version 2 of the game actually works together to solve, or at least put together, some sort of riddle-based mystery. And every single puzzling event will give you one small little crumb to push you further to figuring out what exactly is going on. And because I don't want to accidentally help anyone spoil the mystery for themselves, that's about all I'm going to go into for Glass Masquerade 2. The visuals of the two games they're pretty stellar, I have to say, with the little touches of the glinting edge lines of the puzzles, as well as just the beauty of the imagery itself. Glass Masquerade as a visual puzzle game is just really, really appealing. The soundtracks as well for both games are really well rendered, with Glass Masquerade 1 giving slight hints at cultural themes in its background music, with Glass Masquerade 2 offering this more mysterious, surrealistic background vibe to keep you involved in this almost Alice in Wonderland chase down the rabbit hole. Moving on from the aesthetic presentation of the game's visuals and audio, though, there are a few things to note and a few differences other than the story to talk about between Glass Masquerade 1 and 2. The original version of the game did feel a little bit slow, and in all honesty, because it did have that best time counter, the transitions between puzzles, the piece selection, and moving the pieces across the screen into position did feel like it was a little bit laborious. But that is again based on my own personal experience using a Pro Controller and not playing with it in touchscreen. Masquerade 2, though, has a definite improvement in the controls, being a lot more responsive and notably quicker. Another difference between the two games is that while Glass Masquerade 1 was definitely a puzzle game, like sitting down and putting together jigsaw puzzles, Masquerade 2 went much further outside the box, making more distinctive pieces so the puzzles actually go together a little bit more quickly, and that's mostly because the new distinctive shapes make it a lot easier to identify each piece and where it might go. And while some puzzle gaming fans might actually see that as diminishing the level of the challenge for the individual puzzles, it does reduce the challenge just enough that you can keep up with the story of the game a little bit more fluidly. But between the two puzzle games, looking back, probably one of my favorite things other than the visuals and the audio is the mechanic of the red highlighted pieces. Everyone knows that when you sit down to put together a jigsaw puzzle, you find the corner pieces, you align all the edges, and then you start to work toward the center. But because the Glass Masquerade games don't actually show you what the image is supposed to be, and all of the shapes are fairly unique, The developers threw in these red highlighted pieces with little edge points to help you get kind of a boost to start yourself working on the puzzle. But what this also did, besides giving you just an immediate foothold and a starting point, is it gave you some immediate progress and some immediate satisfaction for your puzzle solving situation. And in that sense, even the most difficult puzzle challenges with the most minute and indistinguishable puzzle shapes just felt really fair and balanced. And so I'd have to say, looking back at my time with Glass Masquerade 1 and 2, these are some of the most satisfying puzzle games I've played in a long time. And I gotta say, I really wish I'd come across these games sooner. So if you are a puzzling fan, if you're not even a gamer but you like solving puzzles and putting together jigsaws, Glass Masquerade 1 and 2, especially while it's on sale for a ridiculous price, is gonna be an obvious must-have. And while you may still get some satisfaction out of Glass Masquerade 1, if you are more of a story-based gamer who really enjoys the experience or a little bit of mystery, the additional 30 puzzles that are included with Glass Masquerade 2 will probably give you something more to your taste. But anyway, that does about wrap up the review of Glass Masquerade 1 and 2, now on a ridiculous sale on the Nintendo Switch. So if you enjoyed the review, or especially if you found it helpful, feel free to throw me a comment or a like to show your support, and don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest content. There are new and unique indies coming out every single day, and they're always going on crazy sales. So chances are, whether it's an absolutely unforgettable gem or an easy hard pass, if it's on the eShop, you're going to find out about it right here. But anyway, this has been the Budget Gamer, so as always, thanks for watching.